Hey girls, it's Tuesday. Right now, I have a lot of emotions for a lot of different reasons, most of them being why today is awesome, which would be this! I desperately just want to talk about all of the emotions, and basically, it's interesting being a teenager. And I don't know if we're the best ones to tell you what it's like to be a teenager, because most of you watching are probably teenagers. And it's hard to fully experience being a teenager until you're not a teenager, because right now I'm stuck in the moment and I can't think about things as a whole group, until I'm not in the moment. And I don't know when that moment will be that I realize I'm not a teenager anymore, but it'll be sometime. And then I can think about being a teenager. And the thing is, I don't even know what being a teenager means, because growing up having, having a large affinity for 80s movies and reading so much fiction, being a teenager was going to prom and having a boyfriend and being in high school and the whole cheerleaders versus nerds stereotypes that happen in high school. But none of that's happened in my life. I haven't been to any kind of formal dance. I don't have a boyfriend. There is some kind of cheerleader, nerd, rivalry, jock extravaganza at the school, which I don't subscribe to at all, and I'm quite content to just have my group of friends and be the way I am and to live my life like that. I'd much rather spend it on the internet, talking to people on Skype, talking to people on Google+, making friends through YouTube and Twitter and Tumblr and all of the things. I'd much rather spend my teenage years going to book signings and Wizard Rock concerts. However, regardless of the type of teenager I am, being a teenager is difficult because you're trying to figure out who you are, you're trying to test the boundaries, you're trying to accomplish more and having more freedom, but not having the time to accomplish all that you want to. And I struggle with a lack of drive, where, as in I say, I want to make YouTube videos, but then I always feel too self-conscious, not of my looks or anything, but of the quality of what I'm producing, and a fear of not coming across the way I want to. And I think that is part of being 16, or being 17, or being 15, or 12 even, is that you don't know who you are, and you're afraid of not coming across the way you want to, even though you don't know how you want to come across. What I think is interesting about being a teenager is you're right before about to be adult. I'm, not even a year and a half away from, oh my god, I'm only a year away from being adult. That's really weird. That's what I wanted to say. I think it's really interesting that 18 is this age of consent, that 18 is an age of being an adult, that 18 is this age you're reaching towards, when you can break past most and all barriers and be who you want to be at that point. And I think it's an interesting age to pick, because I can understand 18 in the schemes of living till 30, or living till 40, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But when people are living to upwards of 100, I almost wonder if 18 isn't the right age anymore, if we need to wait till 25 to do things. I mean, people aren't having kids in their early 20s or late teens. People are having kids in their late 20s, early 30s, and even later than that. And that's become the social norm. That's not a weird thing to have a kid at 28, 32, 36. That's become a more standard idea. And it all has to do with, a long time ago you expected to get married by 14 and have kids by 16. So coming of age at 13 made sense. Being a teenager was like your big step into adulthood, because you'd be getting married in a couple years and having kids a couple years down from that. But if I'm not going to get married till I'm 35, doesn't it seem weird that I'm becoming an adult at 18? I don't know. And I'm not saying this because I'd like to live at home anymore, because trust me, I'm quite happy to go out and explore the world and quite interested in doing that. But I think it's interesting that 18 is still the age that you're an adult. And I wonder if anyone will ever try and change that, or when it will change and what it will change to. Cycles and lunar cycles. And we haven't changed it in a long time, and I'm wondering if that's what we need to do. I'm going to challenge whoever I spin to create an alter ego for yourself. Like, you could be a superhero, or a fairy, or a wizard, and their characteristics and why you chose them. It didn't work. And that would be... that would be Kathleen. I'd like to hear about your alter ego. Alter ego. That would be Kathleen. I'd like to hear about your alter ego. Now, for my challenge, which was to talk about dreams, I've had a lot of weird dreams. I often have a lot of weird dreams. I'm sure some of you guys have heard them before. So, I wasn't sure what dream I wanted to talk about since there was a large extent of them. And I probably should keep a dream journal because it would be nice to go back and look at them. But Sunday night, which was the night before I started school, I had a really weird dream. And before starting school, I often have kind of stress dreams where you're taking a test and you're not prepared. Dreams like that. Though I've never had that one, but that's the example. But this time I didn't have a stress-related dream. At least there was nothing specifically stressful in it, or I couldn't picture it being a stress dream. But it was a very, very weird one, and a very convoluted mix of things, and I thought it was entertaining. So, first part of the dream was, in the dream I was standing in our shower with my sister, because we had just finished dyeing my hair like neon blue, like Tom Milsom blue, but it was still long, but I cut it to be like super choppy layers, and it was bright blue. And then I snuck out of the house because I didn't want my parents to see that my hair was blue, and I went to a bar with my friend Helena, who Joy talked about yesterday, and I will also link her channel on my face if you'd like to see it, but she's been in videos before. So Helena and I, and Helena did not have blue hair, I'd like to point out, went to a bar. And in the dream, I was conscious of the fact that I was 16, and I didn't think it was weird to be going to a bar. But once I was sitting in the bar, I realized no one had ID'd us or questioned the fact that we were in the bar, and I found it quite weird to be in the bar at 16. So Helena and I was sitting there talking about who knows what, and someone walked up, and it was Grant Imahara, who is on Mythbusters. But it didn't look like him, but in my brain I registered the fact that it was Grant Imahara, and then he took our drink orders and left. And Helena told me that it was her history teacher.
For more than 10 minutes.
I know. I ended up talking more than I thought I would.
Can I guess which one that is?
Yeah. And Helena told me that it was her history teacher, and that was pretty confusing. But she had said that the couple days before in class, they'd been having a conversation about acupuncture, and she was intrigued by it, and there was one word used to describe the way they put the needles in or something like that, and how it affects you, and it started with a V, and she didn't remember what it was, so she asked him what it was, but he still didn't realize that she was a student of his, and I still thought it was Grant Imahara from Mythbusters. And then I looked in a mirror and realized that my hair was blue, and I woke up. For all of you dream analyzers out there, please tell me what that means. I'm really excited to find out. And Grace, I will hear you, your thoughts on being a teenager, and probably a less psycho dream analysis tomorrow. You know what I think is really cool, completely random side note, is that I think it'd be really cool to get like a watch as a gift, because it would make me feel really special to have a watch that was more than just a watch. But if I could get a watch that wasn't a watch you wear on your wrist, it was like a watch in a different way. I saw someone who had a clock on a bag, and I thought that was really cool. And it was a working clock too. So I think that's cool.